Hello everyone, Alyssa Reynolds here for another wonderful episode in my small series on channeling spirit. So, last time I talked about building belief and intuition, which is the bedrock to connecting with spirit. Once you have that belief, once you have that awareness of your intuition, you can really start taking off. And even as I say that, just be aware that building belief and really tuning into your intuition is a process. So there's never a point when you've totally mastered it and you're good to go on to level 2 or level 3 or whatever the case is. It is something that you're continuously working on, but it is something that you want to work with first, especially if you are just starting out. And today I wanted to talk about a practice that you can be doing not only to continue working on building your belief and trusting in your intuition, but it also moves you to the next step of becoming aware of your spiritual body, your physical body, your mental body, all of your bodies, and how they fit in to this 3D reality, and how you then are able to bridge the divide from 3D reality to 4D to 5D and so on, where spirit is moving through. So this practice is a type of meditation, and I've talked about meditation before, and I've actually very briefly mentioned this as well in some of my other videos where I do talk about different practices of meditation. However, again, this particular practice of meditation, which is known as pathworking, is a lot more than just meditation. It's got a lot of different levels to it that have to do with building awareness of yourself and then of spirit, in the sense that it helps you to become aware of your different chakra points, the energy moving in and out of those different chakra points, how they feel within your body, and how they connect with energy that's outside of your body, as well as helping you to develop your clairs. So when I talk about clairs, I mean clairvoyance, clairsentience, clairaudience, claircognizance, and some of the other ones as well that are a little bit less common. So before I dive into pathworking and just what you do with this particular practice, as well as taking all of you through some pathworking along with me today, I just wanted to put a little note on chakras and clairs, which I'm not going to go into detail explaining what chakras are or what clairs are in this video. I've done that in bits and pieces in many of my other videos before, and frankly, there is so much information out there already on YouTube and the internet in general that if you do a quick Google search, you can find so much information about what chakras are, what clairs are. What I want you to focus on today in this video is not the nitty-gritty of what those things are, but the active practice of developing them. So just being aware that pathworking is helping you be more in tune to your different chakra points and what's going on with them, as well as building your clairs, which are the different tools that we use to communicate with spirit. So just for a quick example, I know I said I wasn't going to explain, but just a quick example with clairsentience. That's one that many people most commonly already are quite naturally attuned to, and that is feeling energy in your body, feeling energy outside of your body. So that's the clair that is coming into play when people talk about, I feel pressure on my crown, or I feel palpitations in my heart, or pressure in my heart, or I feel tingling down my arms, or tingling in my feet. And all of those feelings don't have anything to do with like any sort of physical thing that's going on with you, but it's energy that's causing that. So that's clairsentience. And in regards to the clairs and this particular practice of pathworking, it is something that absolutely anybody can do wherever they are at in their journey with connecting with spirit. So you can be an absolute beginner, or you can be way far down the line with all of your clairs totally open. When I talk about clairs being totally open, when I talk about these practices, when I talk about being at a certain stage, just remember that this is a practice. So it is just like learning to read. It is just like learning to write, learning how to do math, learning how to play an instrument. It just takes practice. Yes, some people are naturally attuned to spirit, just as some people naturally lean toward being very good at math, or they're naturally very good artists. It doesn't matter, so long as you just practice. So with this pathworking, make it part of your regular practice, whether it's 2 days a week or 3 days a week or every single day of the week. Make it something that you consistently do, especially if you're just starting out with connecting with spirit, or it's something that you wish to expand and deepen. I know it's absolutely cliche, but practice makes you more attuned. I'm not going to say perfect, because I do not like that word, because there is no perfection. There's only just continuing to grow and improve. So all of my caveats out of the way, all of my explanations out of the way, well, most of them anyway. What is pathworking exactly? Pathworking is, as I said, a meditation practice that allows you to bring yourself mentally into a space that bridges the 3D reality with all of the other dimensions. It's essentially imagining yourself on a beach, and in front of you on the beach, or beside you on the beach, wherever you honestly want on the beach, is the energy that you're connecting with. So it just helps with taking the step from being able to physically, tangibly see, smell, taste this reality that we're currently in, and connect spirit to it, which is all energetically based. So I know there's definitely a lot of you out there who are able to connect with spirit, and it's in a totally blank white space where there's absolutely no 3D sensory concept at all involved. And that's awesome, and that's okay, because that's how some of us work. Some of us are totally fine connecting with spirit in an absolutely blank space that has nothing to do with the 3D reality. But this video, again, as it's part of my Connecting with Spirit series, is very much geared toward those of you who are looking to bridge the 3D realm with the other dimensions and take that step into connecting with spirit, you may find eventually that you are totally happy connecting without having any awareness of some extra space. 98% of the time, that's how connecting with spirit goes with me, and I don't sit down at a specific time, get into a meditative state, and do this path working. This was something that I did way, way, way back when I was first connecting with spirit. So again, this is something that over time you may do less and less and less, but it is an excellent practice for those of you just beginning. And to be honest, I still occasionally do it because I just have a crazy active imagination and enjoy when I'm connecting with certain beings to hop myself into a different space, or I let them take me to a different space entirely. Usually that's how it goes, is they'll take me off to some other space and I'll be like, oh, this is wonderful and a little bit more interesting than just hanging out in my own flat right now and connecting with you. So that's my other explanation out of the way. Sorry, I did say I was done with those explanations. Okay, maybe not quite. So how do you do path working? Well, to begin, if you've never done it before, I recommend sitting down wherever you regularly meditate and light a candle, and then just softly gaze at that candle while you do whatever meditation practices you usually do, whether it is having music on in the background or having a guided meditation going on, or it's doing breath work or just counting or having a mantra, whatever it is, just keep your eyes open, softly gazing at that candle. And after however much time feels comfortable to you, whether it is a week or 2 weeks or a few days, close your eyes. Whenever you're doing your regular meditation practice, you can still light that candle, but with your eyes closed, you're imagining that candle in your mind. You're holding the image of that flickering candle in your mind. And then again, after a few days, a week, 2 weeks, however long feels comfortable to you, and again, this is where that intuition comes into play, where you tune into, do I need to keep doing this, or can I leap onto the next step? Can I try the next thing? Start imagining something simple in your mind, like an apple or an orange, and then just turn that apple or orange in your mind, paying attention to its texture. Maybe it's got a bit of a smell to it, the colors. Maybe even in your mind, feel like you're actually touching it as well. And attach your 5 senses to that apple or orange that you are imagining in your mind. And then again, do this for however many days or weeks that you feel you need to, and then move into doing shapes. So next you might do a cube, or you might do a triangular prism, or you might do some sort of complex parallelogram, which is actually a 2D shape, so don't mind that. But doing different shapes and then building that into more complex objects, like you start imagining a book in your mind, or you imagine a tree or a boot or a particular animal. And just keep building and building and building with that until you start imagining full spaces, where you might start stretching your mind out and just mentally imagining maybe your living room. Maybe you're sitting in your bedroom and you imagine your living room in your mind, or you imagine a park that is just outside where you live, or you imagine your childhood home, or a friend's home, or a particular cafe that you enjoy going to, and then you can start imagining completely made up spaces even, and just build a forest in your mind, or a lighthouse, or an ocean, or a boat, or a mountain, or a cave, or a river, or whatever it is, and put together entire spaces within your mind. And when you're at this point, and even when you're just starting to imagine bits and pieces as well, absolutely start calling in different beings that you have connected with or that you'd like to connect with. And when you're doing this, you can help bridge the gap again by having images of these beings around you when you put yourself into your meditative state. So whether it's an oracle card with their image on it, or a tarot card with their image on it, or maybe just a painting that you have of them, or you've pulled up an image on your phone and you've got that in front of you, or perhaps you've got a little votive statue of that particular being. Whatever it is, it often helps for people to have those in front of them or around them as well, to help trigger connecting with that being and bringing an awareness of them into your mind, into that space that you have created. And you can also absolutely then be working your way to the state of not using those images or those statues in front of you, where, especially if it's a being that you've connected with really, really often, and after one time, honestly, you know how they're going to present themselves to you. And side note here, yes, most beings do present themselves relatively similarly between all of us, but because we're each complete individuals in terms of how we're connecting with spirit, where some of us are more attuned to hearing things in our mind, or some of us are more visual, or some of us are more sense oriented, there will be differences in how we connect with these different beings. And then, depending on our personal experiences in this lifetime and many other lifetimes as well, that can go into influencing exactly how the being may choose to present themselves, or the name that they even choose to give to us as well. So keep that in mind as well, especially for those times when that ego still pops up and starts making you doubt yourself, that just because a particular being is regularly presenting themselves in a certain way for most people, if there's something a little bit different for you, that's okay. Do not stress about it. Do not let it doubt yourself. Always go with the first thing that you receive, because if you do get it wrong, Spirit is going to correct you, and they will keep throwing something at you, trying to get you to see the correction or understand the correction or get in tune with that correction until you finally do. So never, ever, ever think that you're getting something wrong or doubt yourself. Okay, tune into that intuition. All right. So that is essentially what pathworking is. It is building yourself a space in which to connect with a particular being. And again, really helps for building the clairs. So especially building clairvoyance and clairaudience and even clairsentience. Because again, clairsentience, that's tuned into your feelings, so that's touch-based. Clairvoyance, that's tuned into what you're seeing, so seeing mentally with that inner eye. And then clairaudience, that's what you're hearing mentally. And all of those go into building these mental spaces and building that perception and connection with spirit as well. So, what I would like to do to finish off today is call upon my favorite being to connect with, the wonderful, wonderful goddess Pallas Athena. And I'm going to lead all of you through just a very short, simple pathworking practice into just a basic space. And Athena has just a short message, she says, for all of you today. So, if you need to pause, get yourself in a more comfortable space, or if you're out and you're walking or driving while you're doing this, just hang on, do this where you can be in a comfortable, quiet space, uninterrupted. And begin to take a breath in, hold it for as long as feels comfortable, and then let it out. Take a breath in, holding it as long as feels comfortable, and then let it out. Keep doing this for a few cycles. And if your eyes are not closed, close them now. And as you are breathing in and breathing out, count down from 12. And for each count that you make, imagine your foot is on a step and is moving down to another step. And then another step. Starting at 12, breathing in, breathing out. And as you're breathing out, you're going down to the 11th step. Your foot moves down to the 11th. And then you breathe in, you breathe out, and your foot is moving down to the 10th step. Breathing in, breathing out, and your foot is moving down to the 9th step. Breathing in, breathing out, and your foot is moving down to the 8th step. Breathing in, breathing out, and your foot is moving down to the 7th step. Breathing in, breathing out, and your foot is moving down to the 6th step. Breathing in, breathing out, and your foot is moving down to the 5th step. Breathing in, breathing out, and your foot is moving down to the 4th step. Breathing in and breathing out, and your foot is moving down to the 3rd step. Breathing in and breathing out, and your foot is moving down to the 2nd step. Breathing in and breathing out, and your foot is moving down to the 1st step. And breathing in and breathing out, and ahead of you you see a gold light, that it grows from a dot and it expands out and out and out, moving up and moving down and stretching until what you see before you is a great arched exit from a cave. And you step out of this great arched exit. And you see ahead of you a great endless expanse of golden sand that stretches forward, flat and seemingly endless, until finally in the distance there is a sparkling horizon where the ocean meets the sky. The sun is high, and the day is warm. There is a slight breeze, bringing the briny scent of ocean to flow and flourish around you. There are small tidal pools as you step out onto this beach, full of tiny, tiny crabs, bits of seagrass, and shells. And it is then, ahead of you, that you see the shape of a tall woman begin to appear, framed by the sun, arcing behind her. She wears gold and white, and holds a great gold shield, and wears a great golden helmet. She stands sturdy and strong, full of power. Hello, dear ones. I am Athena, and you may call upon me when you seek the strength to stand upon your own 2 feet, to stand within your own power. This is a time for strength. To not back down, to not turn away, but to stand with your feet deep into the sand, deep into the earth. No matter the weather going on around you, be it the sun beating down, or a storm battering upon your shoulders, stand strong. For each of you, you are light workers. You are here, and that makes you a light worker. You are leading the way for all others. And so, I come to all of you today to remind you, as you stand your ground under the beating sun or the raging storms, lead with love. That is your strength. That is your power. That is where your strength and power comes, and where it grows, and where it will continue to grow. Lead with love. No matter where the others around you come from and where they are going, lead with love. Stand your ground with love. You are my champions of light. Each of you stands upon the horizon, guides for all others, even as we guide each of you. And so, I ask each of you, lead with love, no matter where any other comes from, no matter what any other reacts with or puts out. You must only put out love. Each choice that you make, each step that you take, make it with love. Especially for those who do not yet know love the way you do. Those who are not aware of love the way you may be. Those who have not yet stepped upon the path that you have stepped upon. Lead with love. For they will get to where you are one day, whether it be in their current lifetime or in another, they will follow. But if you lead with love, you will send a breeze that may direct them toward love too, one day, be it in this lifetime or the next. And it will support them all the more in their own journey. And so, do not look down on those who are not yet where you are at, for each of you is at a different place. Each of you is experiencing different things for different reasons and in different ways. All you must do is make each step with love. Lead with love, and you will be doing all that you are here to do. Thank you, dear ones. She's just bowed her head. And she's just stepping back. In the space upon the vast sandy beach with the distant glitter of the ocean, the sun seems to swallow her form as she steps back and goes on her way. And so too do each of you. Move on your own way. You may choose to step out further into the sands or turn back toward the cave, or turn toward a cabin or a forest. Wherever you go, go where you feel drawn. And bring your awareness to your breaths. Beginning from 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, then 7, then 8, then 9, then 10, then 11, then 12. Bring your attention to your toes, up through your legs, to your knees, to your thighs, to your stomach, to your chest, to your shoulders, your elbows, your fingers, your neck, your mouth, cheeks, ears, eyes, and crown. Shake yourself out, grounding yourself back into your physical body, this physical reality. I wish all of you love and light, and would love to hear how you feel about the practice of pathworking, some of the experiences maybe you have had, or maybe you do have as you get into it. And I will be seeing you next week for another part in this series of many different practices that you can bring into your life to connect with spirit. So until then, goodbye for now.